Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about sequels and prequels. We got a lot of sequels coming out this year, like Gladiator Part 2, Wicked, which is a prequel of Wizard of Oz. Do these movies really need a sequel or a prequel? In some cases, like, let's just say Lincoln. This movie ends with the assassination of Lincoln. So in some cases, I would say this movie kind of did need a sequel. And we did get one in The Conspirators, which is the chase to get Booth and all those who conspired against Lincoln to assassinate him. But in other cases, like let's say the movie Psycho. Did Psycho need a sequel? That story is over. You got Norman Bates, he's in jail. Did that movie really need a sequel? But we ended up getting like 3 or 4 of them. So let's talk about some today. Let's talk about one movie that is both a sequel and a prequel. That's Godfather Part 2. It tells the story of how Pacino here, playing Vito, and how he took over after the end of Godfather Part 2. And then we also see the early rise of the Don, played by Robert De Niro, as he became the head of the Corleone family. It's Godfather Part 2. Sometimes we actually get a sequel that is actually superior to the first movie. I would say Die Hard Part 2. This movie, right, Die Harder. This movie is actually, to me, better than Die Hard. It's epic as Die Hard is. It takes place during Christmas time, just like the other one. But the story, to me, is just a little bit better. There's a lot more action, too, in this story. That's Die Hard Part 2. Die Harder. Another movie that, to me, did not need a sequel. 2001. As convoluted as that story is, trying to understand what that movie is even about. We got a better fleshing out of that movie actually in 2010, the year we made contact. It kind of explains what this baby what was that baby at the end of 2001? What was that all about, the monolith? This kind of explains it. And for my younger viewers, this is really a good movie right here. This is a good movie. 2010, the year we made contact. This is another movie that is far superior than the movie before it. Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan. This is actually off of an episode, Space Seed, from the original Star Trek TV show. Tell you how Khan came, how he takes over. It's got one of the best ship-to-ship battles, too. This is an awesome sequel to Star Trek, the motion picture. That's Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan. An excellent performance by Ricardo Montalban. This is another sequel to an awesome series of movies. It really didn't need a sequel, but we got one. But it was far superior to the first Alien. That's Aliens, starring Sigourney Weaver and Michael Biehn. This picks up right where the first Alien movie ends at. And remember, Alien Romulus actually is getting ready to come out on home release. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on too. This is when she found out that some space marines. I read an article where Sigourney Weaver found out that halfway through making this movie, she realized this movie was not about them. It was about the guns. That's Aliens. Another action-packed science fiction movie. Then there's another movie, one of the biggest movies of all time. A lot of people say they didn't like this, but I thought this was far superior to the first movie. Avengers, Age of Ultron. Robert Downey Jr., starring Robert Downey Jr. and James Spader is excellent as Ultron in this movie. I liked it when I saw it when it came out the theater, but I watched it a little bit later on when it came out on home release. This is an excellent movie. If you haven't seen this movie, you really need to give it a shot. That's Avengers, Age of Ultron. Another one where the first movie was an absolute classic, but the sequel actually ended up being better than the original movie, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Can't say anything. Really should have stopped right here. Really should have stopped there right here. They shouldn't have made any more sequels. It should have ended right here with Terminator 2. This is really good right here. There have been all these offshoots, 3 or 4 Terminator movies, but this is the best one. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. And then, what is the greatest sequel? It's a sequel of a series of movies that really needed to end with the first movie, as I said before earlier. But this created the greatest sequel of all time, in my opinion. That's The Empire Strikes Back. This is one of the best movies ever made, if you like science fiction. One of the best movies, period. Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill. I know most of us have seen it, but you'd be surprised. Some of our younger viewers haven't even seen Star Wars. I actually work with people who've never even seen Star Wars at all. That's The Empire Strikes Back. Remember, KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and Sunday. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe. Let's make some comments. What sequel did I miss out on? Was there need to be a sequel to Home Alone? What about that? You got some sequels that I didn't mention. Then mention right here down in the comment. In our next KDS Reviews, we're going to talk about planes, trains, and automobiles. I'm going to do a special on this and why this is the greatest Thanksgiving Day movie of all time. This is KDS Reviews, and I will see you in the next video.